And her daughter asked me one day and she couldn't go. Okay.
Okay.
And you've been craving it ever since.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting the Human Affairs Committee to order. My name is Lisa E. Doan. I'm the Human Affairs Committee chairperson, so that you know. Erin Washington, who's a current candidate for City Council, is our vice chair. And our members are all assembled. Some are carryovers from last year. Rosemary Salas and Michelle Brooks we served together last year. And then our newest members are Angeline Johnson and Stuart Anderson, and Jill Schechter is going to be arriving shortly. So just to give you a little overview of who we are.
Thank you.
Let the minutes reflect I did that because we have a special guest that wanted to come observe the meeting today. And I wanted to credential everyone for him so he had an idea of who we all are. So anytime anybody from the community wants to come visit, we're absolutely happy to have you. At the recent candidate forum with the Chamber of Commerce, another city council candidate, Thor Johnson, volunteered and said he'd like to get involved with the Human Affairs Committee after we have our work plan approved. And we can always use extra hands. So if other individuals from the community, whether or not you're city council candidates, but if you are interested in what the Human Affairs Committee does, and if you'd like to join us and participate, we have some projects that are going to require time and energy of more than the 2 or 3 people on the subgroups. So you are absolutely welcome. You can email me, Lisa E. Doan, at my city email address, which is edonl@san-clemente.org. Okay, and if you can't remember that, go look on the city website and you can see the format. But we're absolutely happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So let's get to our minutes. I've called this to order, so let's do roll call. Michelle Brooks.
Here.
Angeline Johnson.
Here.
Dr. Anderson.
Here.
Rosemary Salas.
Here.
Erin Washington.
Here.
Lisa E. Doan, obviously I'm here. And Jill Schechter is absent currently. The Pledge of Allegiance. Who'd like to lead the pledge?
I'll do it. Don't
Excellent.
share it one time.
Okay.
I did it last time, so I want to be a hog, but it's so fun.
One after me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. Excellent. So our first order of business is to approve the minutes for September 13th, our last special meeting of the Human Affairs Committee.
Second, so moved.
Excellent. So we have a first from Stuart Anderson, a second from Erin Washington. Minutes are approved. And then the second item on our minutes is to file and receive City Council directed changes to the minutes from the August 16th, 2022 special meeting of the Human Affairs Committee.
Were you familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
So they directed any reference to the chair of the HAC committee to work where it says will meet with the mayor to change that to the city council.
Perfect.
Right. So
Thank you. Yeah, I was
any
aware of that,
reference
but
to the mayor needed to come out of the minutes. So
Right.
there were 2
I was
areas.
there. I saw that.
There were 2 areas in the minutes that we just took that reference out.
Excellent. And you just generalize it and said City Council.
Or else, yeah.
Okay, so we don't need a motion on that, do we? Because it's filed and received? Or do we need a motion?
Let's just make a motion.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the changes to the August 16th?
I make a motion that we approve those changes.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Do I have a
I second.
I want
Okay.
somebody else
Rosemary?
besides me.
Seconded by Rosemary Salas. Thank you, Rosemary. Excellent. So the primary, hi, welcome, Jill.
Hi.
Let the record reflect that Jill Schechter has joined us, so we have a complete assemblage of our committee today. And the primary reason that we're all meeting today is to review the consolidated work plan, add anything that you feel is important in terms of granularity, because this will go in this format, once we all vote on it and approve it today, to City Council. And I'll walk you through what that looks like and feels like. So City Council receives our document, and the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, obviously, and they all review it. And the city manager also receives a copy of it as a courtesy. They go through it. If they have any questions, well, there are two things that can happen. At the next city council meeting, which is a week from today, thank you, October 19th, thank you, Aaron. They, 18th, sorry. It blurs together when you work on the weekends, sorry.
You work too hard, Lisa.
Yeah, I gotta take a step back. I'm gonna take your advice. In any case, city council will review the work plan. If it will be agendized, okay? Now there are two things that can happen. They can vote on it and approve it as it stands, or they can pull any of the items, any of the projects off of our work plan and pull it off the agenda, and then it's open for discussion. So I would encourage at least one person from each work group, I'll be there, to attend the city council meeting on the chance that they would look at something, or in the instance in which they'd look at something and say, oh, we want a little bit more explanation on that before we approve it. Now, reviewing this, and Jen and I went through it, it's extremely straightforward. Doesn't sound like there's a lot left to the imagination because it's very nicely spelled out. But who knows how everybody's going to receive it, and we just want to make sure we're there in case we need to provide more clarity and color. Okay? And then also, once this is approved and once council accepts it, for our subgroup that's on working on updating the city website with all of the resources available to individuals in the city that are looking for our city resources and want a very easy to navigate guide, our IT specialist will be at our next meeting to go through that with us, and we'll talk about our vision. So our subgroup will have a meeting separately. We can talk about what our vision is, come to agreement on that, present it to the IT specialist, and then find out what they can and can't do to execute on our vision. Right?
So you're meeting separately with the IT specialist, or he's meeting with the
No,
whole
he's going to
group
meet with the
first?
whole group.
Oh, okay.
Because you should all know, because everybody has the ability to dialogue. And I should state that caveat. With any of the work groups,
Yeah.
the reason why we separate out like that is because we only meet once every other month. That's not a lot of time to get a lot of work done. So the work groups can get together, and you can Zoom, or you can get together for coffee, or do whatever works for you, and really work on the granular portions of your project. And then the whole committee gets to discuss the project, be updated on it, participate if need be, like for every 15 minutes, or for the resource fair, where we're going to need all hands on deck. We can all participate. And people will have different ideas, like, well, have you thought about doing this? Or how about that? We've done that before and that worked. So it's not that everybody's working in a vacuum. We're working in subgroups so we can get the heavy lifting done, and then we're bringing it to all of our colleagues on the committee for any input. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So,
I have a question though.
Sure.
Which is, when the city council gets our work projects, will it be in this format?
Yes.
This has much more detail than this.
it will be in this format with the blue type,
Okay, thank you.
okay? And that's why we're here today. And this is gonna be, relatively efficient, I think, based on the assembled talent here. Let's go through each of the items and see if we need to add anything else that will help someone who doesn't know anything about these items understand what our intent is, what the resources are that are required, et cetera.
Lisa, do you remember last year, was it just a blanket approval by council?
Yes, they approved across the board.
Well, at the beginning, when we didn't understand
Oh, that's right.
how brief the work plan should
Right.
be, and that we didn't have a
When you put in
budget,
an unlimited budget.
we had, 22 projects, if memory
Right,
serves.
that's right.
And then they said, well, that's too many. Pick your favorites. And we said, well, what do you mean pick our favorites? And what do you mean we don't have a big budget?
Or any budget.
Right, like zero budget. Although I did go back to city council and they said, okay, when you do the resource fair, for example, we could probably scrounge up some spare change to help with refreshments.
Some
and so
goodies.
forth.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So I said, okay, so we're not going to ask for $20,000, but
Yeah.
we're certainly going to ask for a little something, something.
200.
Right. Okay. So without further delay, why don't we get to the first item, which is the Homeless Town Hall and Community Resource Fair. And maybe we don't call it a homeless town hall. Maybe, well, Stuart, what do you think about it? I don't want it to be
Only homeless,
a
doesn't
pressure
have to be
point.
only homeless either.
right.
So I think
Do you think
It's-
community resource fair?
community resource, yeah,
Right.
community, yeah.
Are you going to invite like special guests, like churches and people that have familiarity with the homeless?
Yes.
Like a folk, okay.
So we actually have a spreadsheet.
So you're just gonna strike out town hall, right?
No,
Just homeless.
homeless.
Town hall and community resource fair, so you can include like maybe special needs and stuff like that, some resources for them.
Right.
Okay.
We actually have, really what we want to make the community aware of is all the resources that are available that people just don't know about,
Right. Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Like you see somebody begging and they say, you know, need a roof over our head, need food for my kids. They don't know where to go.
It's
Or-
funny you said that because just this past week, I had a homeless lady outside of Walmart asking for just food, right? And I wrote on a card, you know, the 1-800 number, the number to the fam, and the point of contact, and I gave it to her. She wasn't asking for money; she was asking for food.
Yeah.
And you know, so.
That's good.
But yeah, because what she was asking for is food that you're gonna cook. I'm not gonna give her something. I don't know what she's gonna be cooking.
Right.
So, but I gave her that.
Yeah.
I felt fine to do that.
And
Right.
we should list like the food banks. Like today, I drove by Pacific Coast Church and they had one.
Yeah, they have
Food
food
banks
Totally.
of what days they are, so people know, so they can go if they need stuff.
Is
Because
that
I offered to
something
get her
the city
Subway.
knows?
Subway's right
I
inside
don't know.
Walmart. So.
I don't know. Does the city?
Did she say yes?
Does the city
She-
know where
she
the
did-
food
she
banks
did. She
are,
accepted
or is
cards, she
that?
said
I know
that.
they're all privately done.
Janet, do you know if there's a master that exists of all the food banks that are available?
There's a resource directory on the website that one of the past Human Affairs committees had put together. So I don't know if it
Oh.
specifically has food bank on there.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, well, the
I
So
know-
that's
I-
something on the
I-
website to link up with.
I've gone through it.
Oh.
And it's about as clear as mud.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It's
It's
the
very-
listing, yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many drop downs and it's so difficult to navigate. And I mean,
That's why you want to redo the website.
I want to make it click to call and make it,
Yeah.
you know, image oriented. Like if you need food, there's a
Right.
you know, a little pictorial of a chicken leg, an apple, and a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just keep it very user friendly because I will tell you, a lot of people that need things aren't going to spend 2 hours on the website
Right.
trying to
exactly.
find out
exactly.
how to
You're
find,
right.
Exactly.
you know, dentures and glasses for the veteran that needs his dentures and glasses.
Nice.
I think there's almost a food bank every day. Like today was Pacific Coast. I think Mondays is St. Michael's. I think there's one almost.
When
every-
is it Saddleback normally?
That's
They switched it now down
is it
here. It's,
Wednesday,
no, it used to be every Wednesday, and now it's
Thursday.
no. They had the problem with the space, so they went to the high school, and it was like 2 Saturdays a month. But it
And
went
then
from
they-
every
I
Wednesday
don't
to
And
know
there's
that.
the
when
one
I know
up
it's Wednesday. They
Right,
rotate.
business park.
Yeah, Wednesday,
Too.
and then Friday
Church.
afternoons is the apartments
We're going
out in
Saturday,
Talega.
And the,
So
and
can
the
you
church
do me
that's
a
up
favor?
here, the business park.
Could you please send me an email, each of you, if you have any food bank resources that you know are available, just pop me an email.
What's the name of the
I'll
church?
do that now.
Well, you
I'm gonna
have
be
the
busy.
mission in San Juan. Those
Because
are
they
banks
have one
open
too.
every
I
day.
have no idea when it is. I just
It's open 5 days a week.
Send me a note. Because right now we've just identified 8 or 9 different,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and I guarantee
That
we
one.
don't have them all.
No.
Even though
No,
we
not
have
Shoreline.
a big spreadsheet of a lot of different resources,
I think it was Calvary.
there's a lot of
Because my
redundancy.
kids went to
And
And they probably not called
a Christian
parents.
school for a year,
Exactly.
and they would have food banks.
Yeah, so could I please ask that as a
Okay.
deliverable for the meeting? Just pop me a quick note
Okay.
of the food banks that you know of. And if you happen to know the times and days are available or, you know, open,
Right.
let me know. If not, I can make phone calls and find out.
That's a great idea to
Okay.
list that.
So,
List food banks.
the Town Hall and Community Resource Fair is going to be focused on mental health, homelessness, and special needs. How about that?
Yeah.
So we're all encompassing.
Mhm.
Okay, so what we're going to do, well, let's go through the purposes and goals. So I'm going to change the title. Purpose, goals, and deliverables of the project. Let's everybody read it. I'm not going to read out loud to you because y'all know you know all. know how to read, and see if there's anything that you'd like to add for additional granularity.
So take out homelessness.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So what will we?
Just in the title.
Oh, just in the title.
But then
Yeah,
the
just in the
purpose and
title.
goal, we gotta change that because it's a host a town hall meeting on homelessness. So we gotta do homelessness, mental
Mental
health, and
health.
special needs.
Thanks, Rosemary.
And provide community resources on all, I'd say on all.
Do you guys want to make a note of Thor's Foundation?
Yeah, see, that would go in here too. That'd be perfect.
Because that's a local resource for kids with autism.
Right.
Can you pop that in your email to me?
Yes.
Thank you.
So
And I think that's why Thor wants to get involved.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, and another thing, but I'll bring that up when it's.
Okay, so it's host a town hall meeting on homelessness, mental health, special needs, and provide community resources on homelessness, mental health, and special.
And provide related.
All topics.
Yeah, on
Provide,
all
no,
topics, yeah.
provide related community resources, period.
Mhm.
How about that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Janet, could we please see in spring of 2023 what dates would be available where we were gonna have it last time?
Yeah, we can't do that right now. I don't have the calendar.
No, I know.
But, oh, okay.
Can you make it, I didn't expect you just to be able to. I mean, you don't just have it in your brain for March of 2023? Could you please get back to me with some options and we'll pick, likely it will be a 2 to 3 hour window. And I think last time what we talked about was doing it on a Thursday,
Mhm.
like 4 to 7.
Okay,
Great idea.
and this was gonna be at the community center?
Yes, at the community center,
On the lawn or
inside.
inside?
So what we do is we set it
Oh,
up
great.
as sort of like a little mini convention.
And you walk through.
And
yeah.
everyone that wants to participate gets a table with their tablecloth, their resources,
Perfect.
spokespeople from each of the organizations, business cards, pamphlets, whatever they can do to help anyone that's coming so it's a one-stop shop.
I love it.
Okay, perfect.
So
How do we advertise that we're going to do this to the community?
well, one thing that would be great, Janet, is if city council would give us money to run an ad in San Clemente Times.
Or if San Clemente Times would
Times
just
would
do
donate.
it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we approach San Clemente Times. and see
Yeah,
if
because
they'll
there's
do
no money
And
lost
maybe
for them.
local businesses would put a flyer up. Are we allowed to print flyers in color at City Hall?
Yeah.
Do they have a printer?
I don't think so. Not.
Oh.
I mean, we have a printer, but not one that you would do mass printing.
But just like.
Well, would they
for
give
some
us
businesses.
$150 if I went to Office Depot and
We
had?
do have, so in the budget, we had budgeted, there's about $500
Uh-huh.
in the Human Affairs Committee's budget. So right now you guys have that. So
Okay.
that would cover, I don't know, refreshments at the town
Refreshments.
hall or flyers. So there is that pot of
You
money.
put them in
So
the
keep that
businesses just on Del Mar, just
Yeah,
around
put 'em in the
town.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah, every other
Yeah.
business.
And I think we should approach San Clemente Times and newspapers and see if they can.
Yeah, we should
And
try
this
to
is
get
a
them to
community
donate.
service,
And the more months that we can get it in there.
Right, the longer it
beforehand.
is, exactly.
Yeah, the longer
Get
it
a
is,
date,
that
yeah.
would be-
And maybe local businesses would donate refreshments, like Jimmy John's, maybe
Right.
a platter of sandwiches,
Exactly.
surf and donuts,
Yeah.
could give back a little.
The other thing is, with COVID and sanitary concerns, I know a lot of people like things that are individually packaged. So they could just grab,
Yeah.
Doritos or grab
That's true.
gummy bears or whatever. So we'll see. That's a good idea though, Michelle.
That's true.
Yeah, but maybe Schmidt's would, or
Yeah,
Rocket.
there's enough places. I
Yeah, there's
mean,
enough
they
places.
can individually, they wrap the sandwiches up anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see about that. Janet, you're going to
Okay.
get back to me regarding available dates.
Correct.
And then
You
I'll
can
talk
hit
to
a date
my
one.
colleague in my work group and we'll pick a date that's suitable and we'll get that inked.
Perfect.
Fair enough?
I love
Yes,
it.
perfect.
Can
Is
you
there
just
anything?
clarify the purpose, goals, and deliverables?
Yes.
If you could read that. What do you want to say exactly?
Host a town hall meeting on homelessness, mental health, and special needs resources, it should say.
So no community, so just resources?
You know what? Special needs community resources. We can do it in one sentence. Period.
Homelessness and
So,
mental
yeah,
health.
Mental health and special
and
needs
community.
resources.
So homelessness, mental health,
And
and
special.
special needs community resources. One sentence.
We're repeating community resources here, of course. Do you want to do that?
Do what?
Well, we're not going to say and provide related community resources. We're going to delete that.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all it's going to say is host a town hall meeting on homelessness, mental health, and special needs community resources.
Got it.
How about that for clarity? That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says it all.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
that'll work. And then the title, Janet, should be edited to Town Hall and Community Resource Fair, hyphen, parentheses, mental health, homelessness, special needs.
Love it.
That's all encompassing.
Yeah,
And it serves a number of groups in our community that need
Yeah,
to know what resources are available.
Mhm.
Good?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
Okay, so this is updating the resource registry. And this is something I'm particularly passionate about because I've spent a long time on the city website trying to figure out what resources are available. And it's very difficult to find. And particularly, I mean, if you're older and you didn't grow up with technology.
Right. It's.
I mean, I was next to an elderly woman today, and the doctor's office said, well, you just put the app on your phone, and then you scan it,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
you get the QR code, and then you log in, and she's looking at them, and I said, you just spoke Greek to this woman. She doesn't understand anything that you said. You need to give her a piece of paper and a pen, and tell her what you need to write down. I said, somebody who's 80 years old, I go, ma'am, if you don't mind, because I picked up her cane for her, I go, how old are you? And she goes, I'm 82. And I said, well, you're doing remarkably well. And she goes, what's a QR code? So, you have to give people things in a way that they can digest it, right? So to me, the resource registry has to be quickly navigable, user-friendly, click to call, visually oriented, and we'll see how much IT can do.
I love it.
We're group partner. So can we all please just spend 1 minute, go through this, and see if there's anything. I changed the date, beginning November 22, 2022, and concluding in January 2023. And we'll be able, that's a moving target based on what the IT person, when he comes and we walk him through it, what he can realistically accomplish, okay?
And is the city paying him extra, or is it just like included
No, it's
in
just
his work
his job.
day, right? Yeah, that's amazing. And they gave you free reign with him, like free access, or?
I got nothing. What I have is Janet, who has him coming to our meetings, and we're gonna share with them what our vision is.
Inform him
what he's going to be
See,
doing.
again, I was like, unlimited budget, what?
So he's
first?
going to attend the meeting, basically to talk to the group to see what their ideas of what they want to do to see if it's doable, and then take it from there.
Great.
And then he may go back and resign.
Yes.
So we're gonna ask for a 2-day pass at Disneyland
Yeah.
with all the junk food we want included, and Fast Pass, wherever that thing is called, where you get to go to the front.
Lightning lane.
Thank you.
And no blackout dates.
Exactly. And we might
It's
get,
a small ask.
an ice cream bar and a hot dog. I don't know. But we'll be happy with whatever, you always
Shoot
ask for
for the
more than you
stars.
think you're gonna get. So we'll be happy with whatever resource the city's
I
able to
love it.
provide us. And we'll work collaboratively so we make something usable and we have a nice finished product. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
So if you could skim this and see if there's anything you'd like to.
That's good, I think.
And the other thing that I am really excited about is to make it mobile friendly. Because a lot of people don't have a laptop, but a lot of people have a phone.
Good point.
And if you can drill down and say, I'm hungry, click here, and then say, here's 10 resources, click to call.
Yeah.
How user friendly is that?
Right.
And I don't know if any of you have visited a website for something that you want to buy, and you're looking and you're waiting at your dentist's office and you're trying to buy your dog food, and you can only see half of the website because it's not mobile friendly. And then you can't scooch it over so you can hit the order button or whatever the case may be. I really truly want it a one-pager, really clear, very user-friendly, and we'll see what IT says.
And do you want to link when you get that list of food banks?
Everything.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Would you link that there? That's
Yes.
amazing. I think that's
I really-
going to be amazing.
It's
Yeah.
one-stop shopping.
Yeah. Okay.
And if we can accomplish that, I'll be absolutely delighted on
Me
behalf
too.
of our
Yeah.
committee. I just
Me
think
too.
it's so needed.
I just think those first two things are
Right.
such a win.
Yeah.
Like just to the city overall helping everybody.
right, exactly.
Well, and that's our charter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing is, we're doing it on a shoestring budget.
Mhm.
So if we can accomplish some of these things, I mean, and some of the subsequent projects are in a very similar spirit. So I'm really very happy with what our team has come up with. So let's look at the next one. Does anybody have anything they want edited here on this one? Or are we happy with it the way it is?
Yeah.
You happy,
I
Steve?
think it's great.
It's good? Okay.
And I think your idea of charging for advertising is great, Mr. Zuckerberg.
Oh, on the website? It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Well, it does make it more cluttered and harder to find what you're looking for. So that's maybe a consideration.
We'll talk to our IT expert and we'll run our ideas by him or her and see what he or she says.
Yeah.
Good?
That person we have not met yet.
Yes. The undefinable person that we're going to ask for the world from.
Yep.
Okay. So the next one, the overall homeless strategy, best practices. So let's read through this. And if someone from that subgroup would like to give us some color on this, that would be great.
I thought the next one was resource directory.
No, we
We already did that.
We
That
did
was
that,
fast.
so
I
now we're
was
number
asleep.
3.
And we
You guys
We
were
slid
talking for
into
a
the
while. I
next
tuned out. Okay.
we just talked about looking at comparable cities, Point Loma, Dana Point, Laguna, maybe Huntington. Well, they're twice as big, but just to see best practices, see if anything's working. I mean, I feel like we're in those conversations every day. What's working in other cities and other areas,
Other
and
coastal
comparing to
cities.
that. Other
Yeah,
coastal
coastal
cities,
cities,
comparable size. Yeah.
So I have to
And
tell
just seeing
you,
if what they do differently. Do they have their own police department? Do they have different city ordinances? That kind of stuff that maybe we could advise.
that's fantastic because that's exactly the role of the Human Affairs
Yeah,
Committee.
exactly.
To serve in an advisory capacity to City Council. And if we, as an assemblage, go to City Council and say, Council, here's what we recommend.
What's working.
These are best practices from surrounding coastal cities.
Yes.
Here are 5 things that we recommend that the
And what
City of
they're
San
doing,
Clemente
what's working.
implement.
Love it.
I think it has a lot of a backbone. One thing I noticed is when safety,
Mhm.
public safety, what's the name of their committee?
Public safety.
Public
Mhm.
safety, yes.
When they comment with the gravitas of the Public Safety Committee recommends.
Me too.
And guess what we're going to do?
Yeah.
The Human Affairs Committee
Yes.
recommends.
Yes.
Sure.
And that's how we're going to couch it because we're all going to, cull through it all. We're going to come up with our recommendations. And it has gravitas. And we're doing a lot of homework that other people can't do. And we're volunteers that really want to help.
So Point Loma, Laguna Beach.
I was just listing that as one that I've heard recently, but I was saying Point Loma, Laguna Beach, Dana Point,
Encinitas,
Encinitas,
But isn't
Carlsbad.
Encinitas, are
Oh,
they
she's such a
same
good one.
size as us or?
almost exactly the same
Almost,
size.
okay.
Carlsbad's bigger, I guess.
What about Laguna Niguel?
Cardiff?
Well, they're not
They don't
city.
have-
They're not.
Are they really? Yeah.
Encinitas,
Laguna
Carlsbad,
Beach. Carlsbad is big,
Cardiff
but
is small, I
Cardiff,
think.
yeah.
And Ocean.
The problem is, I mean, I'm looking up these cities all the time and looking up, do they have their own police force
Right.
and what their budget is and what their top tax is and all those things. And I mean, that's a separate issue. But as far as homelessness, I haven't really seen what's working. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So,
It's a knotty problem.
right.
You
So
can't
that's
solve it overnight.
right.
It's a process.
So our goal isn't
Right, we're not
a
going to solve it.
solving of it, just maybe looking at neighbors and opening discussions with, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Hopefully
What
coming
they're
up with
doing that's
something
working.
to
Yeah, strategies to improve it. Yeah.
strategies to improve it.
So
There you go.
that is a great
that's
way to
good.
phrase
I
it.
know, I love
Strategies
that.
to improve it.
Yeah.
Very
Strategies.
good.
So why don't we fix this group? Will
Oh, you
look.
sound like a politician.
Oh, Erin, look at
A
that.
solution-oriented politician. So the way I see it, because people
Always
will, you get into those Facebook discussions and someone will say, well, what's your solution?
Yes.
I was like, well,
There's not, it's.
that's like
long
saying,
term,
how are you
yeah.
going to solve global
I
warming?
know, right?
Right, exactly.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
it's such a broad scope,
Right.
nuanced umbrella of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that's one size fits all.
Right.
But if we think about it, so the way I see it, it's an elephant.
Yeah,
And you can't eat the elephant all at once because you're going to choke. So you eat the elephant one bite at a time. So you start with the legs, then you move on to the tail, then you move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Break it down into small, manageable chunks.
Yes.
So if we are able to identify, and I think any body that's involved with city governance looks at it and says, whoa, it's so much. We don't have a shelter. What can we do? And my thing is, well, we don't have our own shelter, but let's make a plan and let's make some suggestions of what could potentially work.
Yeah.
And for example, things like our local ordinances.
Yep.
How do we get those enforced? Or if you see someone who's in trouble and needs a welfare check, how do you do that? And what does that look like and feel like so that somebody who's in a dire consequence gets some assistance right away? Is that a 911 call? And you say, I need an ambulance, in front of 7-Eleven. All of those things I think are very, very important. Because nobody wants to see someone in serious need just languish,
Exactly.
So you're smiling. Are you agreeing with me, or are you saying
Absolutely.
you're just silly?
Absolutely.
Because it could be either way. I mean, I don't know you that well, so you could be saying yay, good, or you're silly. Okay, so this is very well thought out, and I'm thankful that you're doing what you're doing. Because again, if the end goal is to come up with 3 to 5 things, it's not up to us to solve everything,
Right.
but 3 to 5 things.
Do the majority of these have their own police department? Does Encinitas have their own police department?
I don't know that.
Don't know.
Carlsbad does, Laguna
Carlsbad
does,
does, Oceanside does, and Point Loma does.
Oceanside does, Huntington Beach does, Point Loma does,
I'm almost positive, yeah.
and Laguna does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Encinitas, you're not sure,
I
Stuart?
don't know.
You don't know, okay.
I can't.
Because they're not Orange County sheriffs. What I think
San Diego.
San Diego, but there's no San
There's San
Diego.
Diego County, of course.
San Diego sheriff? There's no.
I don't know.
I think they have their own police department.
Yeah, I think they all have their
Really?
own police department down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's just our little neck of the
Orange
woods.
County, yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
Actually, the city
portion.
Vista has the sheriffs.
They have
Vista
sheriffs.
does?
They don't
Vista
have-
has-
Vista does not have their own police
Okay.
department.
And is it San Diego sheriffs?
San Diego County Sheriff's
Sheriff.
Department is Encinitas.
It is? Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep, San Diego County
So it would
Sheriff's
be
Department.
interesting.
I thought Vista had their own. It's San Diego County.
To see what
Sheriff's
San Diego County Sheriff
Could
does
change.
compared to Orange County Sheriff? Yeah, I think so.
And the individual PDs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's very interesting.
Well, I would like
the
to see their
differences.
I would like to see their posture on Martin versus Lazy.
Right.
Are they using it as an excuse not to go, get homeless and
Mm-hmm.
get them the help they need?
I think it has a special significance toward the 5th paragraph down where we're looking at the PERT/CAT.
Right.
Because whether it's, and that's someone who has knowledge in social services will attend with the police officer if needed,
Yeah.
rather than just police going by themselves.
And it's really interesting because from personal experience, for someone that was in crisis, CAT wasn't helpful at all. And the parents kept calling and saying, please, we need help right now. We don't know what to do, please. So it'll be very interesting to see what other cities do in terms of best practices, because it's important. I mean, when somebody's in a crisis,
Right. To get them out.
they need help. I mean, I saw
They
somebody
need trained help. They need people that
Professional.
understand how to handle the situation.
I don't
And when
think
there's,
everyone
especially when
has
there's a
some-
mental health crisis
Is that
involved,
San Diego?
because if you don't
San Diego
understand
police
how
department.
to
That's on PD.
properly speak with that person or address that person, then you run into,
So they're San Diego.
I don't want to say that's what happened,
So
but when
that's
we had in
but
South
that's not
Side
sheriff.
in the summer a couple years ago,
That's not
and the 2 police ended up
Oh,
wrestling with the
what's the
gentleman on the
difference?
ground, and
Yeah, Reinhardt.
See,
Yeah.
downtown St. Louis.
And,
SCP, San Diego.
I mean, not to say that, you know, those things still won't happen, but having the proper training
But
and the
all things
proper
say that.
personnel that can go along and that will go,
I
and
think
not
it's highly specialized and really important to have
That's why.
an educated, experienced team to deal
yeah,
with
like
some
Kurt or
crises.
Pat. But the problem
Yeah,
is
SDPD.
getting them to,
Oceanside has.
if they have the staff or have
Oceanside
enough
does too.
people to
Is Oceanside
be able to go along
Are they
with
better than
like
us?
social
Oceanside?
services or the crisis teams, you know, do they have available staff to go with an officer?
Right.
And that's the issue you're saying. I feel like it's similar with like regional centers
Hey,
and some of the
Janet?
help right now.
Janet, you guys, we're having two conversations
Sorry.
right now.
Sorry.
And you might have something really important to say, but can we just do one thing at a time?
No, we're just.
So let Jill finish.
It's just
and then
it's
we'll
very similar to like the regional centers and resources for, you know, disabled and people that need those services. I have clients. I have a meeting next week with the resource center, the regional center, where they basically said, we can't even give you home services. We can't have anybody come. We can't have a meet. He went from 40 hours a week to 0, and they don't have anybody. They're like, who are we supposed to send you? And so I think that's kind of the similar situation where you're dealing with agencies and you're dealing with like psychiatric response teams and crisis intervention teams, is that there's just not enough people to do it. So I mean, how do we handle that? I don't know.
See, that's why.
But that's the problem is, you know, there's not enough.
You remind the county that they're sitting on $300 million in state funding for exactly that.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting. No, truly,
Right? I know.
I'm waiting till after the election, and then that's what they're going to start hearing.
The
again.
Human Affairs Committee
Quite a lot of
recommends.
that you spend the money that's there.
Consequently, no. I mean, this
They're sitting on
has
That's just
import and
insane.
impact, you guys. I realize that this is a volunteer committee, but we have impact and we can have a footprint and we can make a difference. And I'm going to keep trying and exhausting until I'm hoarse and I can't speak at city council anymore and I can't send emails to anybody concerned anymore. And I'm not just going to complain on Facebook and not do anything.
Right.
So to me, when somebody says, I'm really concerned about this, I say, great, come to the meeting, speak. It's only 3 minutes. You don't even have to give your name. And, you know, it is nuanced. And we can't, I mean, some people do paint with a really broad brush, but it's very nuanced and it's very highly specialized. I mean, for example, I saw someone who wasn't moving on Pico on the sidewalk. And when I called for a welfare check, I was asked, well, is he dead? And I said, would you say that to your sister or your wife? And I got, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, would you want me to go up to someone? I don't have Narcan.
Yeah.
I don't know what their mental status is. Would you want a woman driving alone at night to pull over and check to see if somebody had a pulse? I mean, what is that really, you know, a reasonable thing to say?
No.
And I said, someone is in danger and they need help. Please send help. So if the Human Affairs Committee, I think this is a very important project, can come up with something granular, something that City Council can act on, and we can make those recommendations as a body, I think it'll be very important. I think it's terrific. Okay. Well, I think we all do.
Michelle or Stuart, because I know are there any, you know, nonprofit organizations, volunteer organizations that can provide some of those services that maybe, you know, Kat, and that they don't have the resources? Have we looked into nonprofits, other types of organizations that may be able to provide mental health support that would be necessary here?
I don't know the answer to that.
That might be a good idea too, because I mean, yes, you have your state and local agencies and those resources, but there's, you know, when those aren't working, you still can, and if they're overwhelmed,
I mean, there's
search out
211,
alternatives.
and then there's Be Well,
Yeah, and I've
and
seen
then there's the HLOs.
Be Well vans in other cities.
Yes.
Going out, checking on people.
Yes.
So that might be something to try to engage some of those types of
Resources.
organizations to invite them to spend some more time in our community working with our homeless and the people in need here.
We should-
Because that's a little bit different than, you know, food or some of the other things they're doing. We're talking about a completely different type of service.
And it's really challenging.
Very. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're
But Carly's trained, so she would be a good ask on that.
okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
Can we add that category to our resource center, because that's an important resource?
Yes.
I didn't even
mental
know
health,
about.
Yeah, there are a number that I mean, I'm not familiar with all of them, but I know that they're out there.
Got it. Thank you. That was a great suggestion.
So under updating the resource registry, Janet, we also want to include, well, I don't know if it should it be there or should it be the
Resource fair.
Both.
resource fair?
Both.
Let's do the resource fair because all of that's going to bleed into updating the website. So on the resource fair, can we also just make a note, Janet, that we want to take a look at any volunteer organizations that can help with mental health crises in our community, and that we can avail ourselves of their resources and they'd be willing to come to San Clemente?
Not even just mental health, just crises in general.
Good one.
Crisis assessment team,
Good. Crisis assessment team,
CAT.
CAT. Because I'll tell you, the other thing is, so somebody's on 5150 and they get psychologically medicated for 72 hours and then they're released from the hospital and they don't know where to go and they're sitting in front of the hospital saying, how am I going to get my meds now? What do I do? Where do I live? Where do I go? I don't know what to do. It's pretty important.
So just to clarify on the town hall committee resource fair, you wanna take a look at any mental crisis assessment teams?
Yes.
Just crisis assessment team, not even mental, just
Crisis.
generic crisis
Got it.
assessment
Cat
team.
teams.
Gotcha,
For
so
the
that would be
first
like
one.
under provide information education, we would add another sentence. Got it.
Thank you. Okay, so for our guest, this might be something you want to listen to. Our next project is a mentorship program for high school students in grades 10 through 12, and we're calling it A Day in the Life.
Can you have your minutes on the sheet reflect the 10, not 6? You know, when you do the minutes?
I'm sorry.
Page 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
page 2.
On the,
It still says 6 to 12.
Yeah, but we changed it to 10 to 12, right?
I know we
Right,
did
but
last
on
time, but
Yeah.
right here,
It's on
so
here.
No, I know, it needs to be corrected. I just want to make sure I understood.
Yeah, you
Got
understand
it.
correctly.
So the work plan is corrected, grades 10
Yes.
to 12?
Right,
Yes.
Just
This
the
is
minutes are
Yeah.
incorrect.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Got it.
So this is, does somebody on that subgroup want to explain what this is for our guest to see if he might be interested in participating?
Erin, me, I'll do it. So this is a mentoringship program. So what we're looking to do is take students grades 10 through 12, whether they have an idea of what they want to do, that's fine, but it's more geared towards the kids that aren't really sure. Maybe not college track, maybe looking for what interests them and what they could be involved in. So looking for local business owners that are willing to mentor those kids, minimum of 2 hours once a month. They can get community service hours for that, and then also it would run concurrently with the school year. But then each mentor can, if there's a minimum requirement, but that if, they hit it off or things go well, it can be anywhere from 2 hours or more. So it could turn into many different things for students. It could turn into jobs, internships, direction, sometimes help going to college, and for those kids that aren't sure what they want to do, it gives them some direction and maybe some ideas of things they might be interested in pursuing.
And we brainstormed the different types of businesses. We went from auto repair, auto mechanics. We went from the police, pro skateboarders, pro surfers, plumbers, chiropractors, dental. We just had a whole laundry list of where to go ask if they want to participate.
Did you guys get a hold of that company that was super excited that I sent you?
Not yet. Once we get it approved, then
Oh,
we'll go back out.
perfect.
We'll go out.
Yeah, I have quite a few already that
Yeah,
were
we have a bunch that are
ready to jump on
go.
board.
Like I have a doctor.
We even talked about the
He
city.
had just responded
You know,
back in
having the
spring.
city, 'cause they're
when we didn't
short
get
staffed.
placed, so I felt
Some
bad.
of
So if
the
you guys
staff
could
does,
prioritize
some
him.
you want them
we
mentor
will.
them.
Yeah.
Just because remember the high
Okay.
school
Yeah,
closed and we like
Cheryl
couldn't.
mentioned 10 through 12, the minutes say 6.
No,
Right.
that was what I was
Last
saying.
year they did
about
that,
having
and
the minutes
it-
to reflect.
Oh,
10.
so this is
through
12.
12.
High school kids,
Right,
who may or may not be college bound.
right. So
Give them some additional options so that they can get their feet wet with some different trades and
Minimum of
businesses.
2 hours a month, and it could be almost like a internship.
Right.
Similar.
It could be a paid position.
Exactly. Could be paid,
Yeah.
it could end up in a job, whatever, yeah.
It's community service hours for them is really what they're looking for. And 2 hours a month is good. But each
For
individual.
students, you mean?
Yeah, but each individual situation is going to be different, and you may have businesses that really, it works really well together, and maybe they bring them on as an employer, maybe they do something else. But we want to make sure it's a good mix of all different types of businesses. Make sure that we vet the business owners, and that we're not putting a teen with somebody that may not be appropriate as a mentor. So right now, we've just been spending more of our time looking, kind of going out and just testing the waters with different businesses, and I haven't had a single person not say, oh, I absolutely would do that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Straight from the chiropractor to a couple real estate brokers that have their brokerages in town, so, and that's just the few that I've had the ability to speak with. Erin did the same thing, and I mean, there's a lot of interest, in addition to all that you did.
Right.
But really just going around and at this point just kind of door knocking more face to face, I think, to try to firm up who we can add on.
And then,
So I'd like to make a suggestion
Mhm.
to compile a master list of who the contact people are, what their phone number is, what they've committed to,
Yes.
and then the two of you, we can all go, but the two of you make appointments at the high school at an assembly or in government class or English class or whatever. Talk to the principal and see what would work, and go share this and speak on it and say, we've secured these participants in the mentorship program. We have these 12 companies, depending upon what your area of interest is, whether it's HVAC or retail or marketing or whatever it may be, working in a doctor's office, whatever the areas may be, and then present to the kids, and then set up a table and have kids that are interested come talk to you and sign up and give you their name and phone number,
that's a good idea.
so that you can pair businesses with kids and you have access to a bunch of kids all at once.
Because kids are so good at like graphic design and social media and marketing.
I think we
like,
should get a
it's great.
counselor involved from there.
Well, that's what I was going to do.
Oh,
Is the
yeah.
counseling
We need to have
department actually?
We need to have
Yeah.
a point of contact,
Yeah.
and then they pass, because they need to know when the position's filled, so
No,
we're not
they're
sending
good
a
at that.
bunch of people out to
Great
see
idea.
business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's great, you guys. Good job.
And they're the ones that actually see students that are slow and
Right,
Yeah.
they know,
The one
they
that
know,
knows.
yeah.
We're not even necessarily slow, because
I don't mean it in a negative way. I'm just
Right.
saying.
That need,
but-
that need additional help.
That need a, that
Or
need a
that-
place.
Direction.
Just focus and
Or
their
they just may
talent.
not be scholastically oriented, but they're great with their hands.
Yeah.
So let's give them something to do where they're great with their hands.
And there's a project going on at the school. My niece is in high school. My niece is a senior at the high school, but I think she's IB, so not necessarily the demographic. Nonetheless, she's been tasked with. She chose domestically abused women, and it's some focus thing that my sister-in-law is like, can you get her to do a ride along with the police? And I'm like, on a domestic violence call? I don't think so. However, so that's just the
It
area
might
that
not
she
be the
chose.
best idea.
Yeah, maybe
Does
not.
she want to go to court on a
Volatile.
restraining order
Right.
against somebody? Like, I don't know.
So-
if you want to do it.
So there is a project going on. I could find out what class that is for, but those kids might be interested.
Okay.
too.
So when we get back together at our next formal meeting,
Mhm.
we can update. And we
Let
can,
me. Can I just ask a question? So this goes. What do you say? October 18th. 18th,
Yes.
right?
Next council meeting.
Okay, and then after that, then
then we get to work.
then we can actually work. Yeah, because
Right.
right now we're just not really. We're
Right now
sort
it's
of tiptoeing
hypothetical,
around.
We know what we're working
Yeah.
on.
So then.
So
once-
it's in a week.
All right. So when we get to that point, then we can start
Then we
firming
can-
up
yeah,
the actual
groups get
commitment
together. Yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
And put a list. I think it's going to be way more than 12.
Yeah.
I think you'll have a lot.
Yeah.
That would be willing. Now the thing is, just because somebody says I'm on this list, I mean, we could have 5 kids.
You
we
should
could have
capture the
50
ones that
kids.
don't do it too, so we're not
Yeah, no, we'll
Okay.
list it said no and yes,
Yeah.
so that we don't repeat and
Right.
annoy people.
And that's another really good idea for San Clemente Times
Oh yeah, for sure.
to advertise it and get them to
Advertising,
donate.
yeah, exactly.
And Dawn. Dawn.
Okay.
All right.
I think
Great,
that's
I
good.
love it. Okay, so the next one, every 15,
Can I
Yes,
get
ma'am?
clarity on project 3? There were no changes to the work plan, the overall homeless strategy, or did we have changes to that? as
no,
well?
we didn't, it was very thorough.
And then project 4, no
No
changes.
changes.
Right,
Except the date, I mean, the grades.
Yeah, well that's on
but
this.
that's in the minutes. The minutes need
Yeah,
to
Do we
yeah.
want
This
to
was correct.
change this to
That was
November?
correct. I was
Do we
just
want to
asking
change
the
this to
match.
November 2022 instead of January?
I don't know.
January.
What would you
Why
like to do?
November?
Well, I mean,
Because
because
everybody's
we're going to
start-
start going.
Yeah.
Start, yeah.
Janet, could you please
Yeah.
change the anticipated start date is November 2022? That should be the anticipated start date on every project,
Yeah, just because that's when we're going to actually start being able to work
officially.
officially.
So that was on the mentorship program, right?
Yeah, but will you change it on all of them?
Yes, I will.
Because that's a good point, Jill.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, every 15 minutes. So Rosemary, I updated the dates.
Perfect.
This one
Okay.
had
Is there anything that needs to be added or I mean, it's
No.
very thorough.
Yeah, and they've already applied for the grant, so.
Yeah.
Can we
And we're
please
doing
put
it in
that?
spring.
this one had
Well,
two.
can
I
you?
think it's in there. Let me see. I think
Only you were slacking.
realize. Okay, Human Affairs to provide support to school and facilitate any coordination in the grant application and program setup. And then I would just put probably grant has been applied for by San Clemente High School.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't.
So on the,
Could you do update colon? Yeah, right after that last sentence.
okay, and then up, where it says Human Affairs to provide support.
Hold on, I gotta let Michelle.
Try not to have
Where did you say put the colon there?
So where it
I
says
think
Human
right
Affairs
here
to
she could do
provide
update
support to
colon,
school and
San Clemente
facilitate
High
any
School has already applied
coordination
for
in
the
the grant application and program setup, then I would put update, San Clemente High School has applied for the grant.
Thank you. On every 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yay.
Sorry.
Oh, we already put project timeline. It says grant
Well, it
application
started.
to be submitted by San Clemente High School in process currently, so it's in there too. But you put it in both spots.
Okay, so you just want update.
Yeah, grant has.
Or how about grant application has been submitted by San Clemente High School?
Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, that's huge that you finally got them to do that, Rosemary. Congratulations.
Yeah. Really.
That was a
great,
lot of work.
Rosemary.
Good for you.
That's amazing.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Is that DUI prevention program, is that focused on youth?
In
Or is
high
it-
school. High school.
Do you want a description of it? Because it's pretty impressive.
It's really neat.
Do you have time?
You showed up. Are you
I'd like to
kidding?
hear it.
Rosemary, go
Basically
for it.
what it is it's a reenactment of an accident where the high school students are they're in the accident, and it's a 2-day program. It's put on by the Highway Patrol. It's a training for Orange County Fire Department, Highway Patrol, and PD, or the OCSD. And they basically, students die. They watch them put them in a body bag. They watch them take them away. And then the students that die don't go back to class the next day. So they're put up in a hotel. And then, so the next day, the kids see this, but the next day, those kids don't come to school. They don't go home that night to their parents. So it's a reality for parents also that, well, I watched this today, my kid hasn't come home tonight.
And the police knock on the door and deliver
Yeah.
the message
It's the
to
whole
the parents.
thing.
The parents write an
Oh, I have the
obituary.
chills.
Scared to
Oh, it
straight
is.
on
It
zero.
is terrifying.
I have the chills.
Yeah,
So
They
do
have to write the obituary.
yeah, it's,
They do a memorial service, and kids at school get up and say what it's like not to have, Courtney and Keith in class anymore.
We had, when we did it, do they still do the Grim Reaper?
yes.
Yeah. The Grim Reaper comes to class and he opens the door and he doesn't say anything and he's fully dressed as a Grim Reaper and he just points to the one who's dead and that person already knew and was approved, and the parents gave permission, but nobody else in the class knows or the teacher knows. I know, I got the chills. And then that student gets up without saying a word, or it could be the teacher.
Yeah.
And then they get up and they leave,
How
and
long
that's
has
it.
it been going?
It's been
Decades.
going on
I did it
for-
in high school.
Yeah, it's been-
and it is very
It's beyond
effective.
powerful.
Yeah,
Like I
you-
still have the obituary. I mean, it's
How did I put 3
intense.
kids through San Clemente? And then-
San Clemente has
Because
not
they haven't done
it in a long
But it's the first time they're
It
doing
costs
it.
so much money. I mean, they use the jaws of life,
Yeah,
and they pick
So
a
is it also,
popular.
is it like a twofer so that it's a training
it's a
exercise?
training for
That's true.
it's the training for them, but it's a lot of work on their part too.
Uh-huh.
It's like a full on production.
They bring the demolished car to the middle of campus and
Wow.
yeah.
leave it in the middle of campus.
Yeah.
And they talk about influence is not just alcohol.
Yeah.
It can be
There's a
bath
whole
salts, marijuana, pills, NyQuil, whatever.
there's a whole protocol that the highway patrol, you have to follow this whole protocol, and then they provide a $9,000 grant. So for the school, to put everything on, and then so it's a production.
It is.
It is.
We will all be
production.
involved.
It's brilliant.
The whole
Yeah.
city is. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
when you
So
see
one
the
thing I just
effectiveness
caught
of it.
as you were going through the narrative, what was your safe rides that we were going to tag onto this? It needs to be put in the work plan. Remember Orange County Safe Rides?
Yeah,
that was
that's
it's
the-
called.
That's the next one, though. Separate. I mean, right?
Yeah, but it's not on here.
It's
No,
part of
it's not
5,
on
it's right
here.
here, right?
5,
South
yeah.
County.
No,
Oh, it
it's
is
not.
part of it. You're
It's not in the
right.
work
It's part of 5,
Oh.
but you didn't put it in here.
It's
Oh,
not
I
in
didn't
the work
realize.
plan.
You're right.
Oh.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Janet, you ready?
Good catch.
Jill,
Thank
can you
sorry for
please?
the time, but that was.
Can you
We'll
please?
let you know when
It's
it's
like
chair.
Michelle's chairing it. No, kidding. I'll do it.
No, will you please share a
I was gonna say,
description
who's
with
the chair for
Janet
that?
so she can add it to the work plan?
Yeah, let me just pull up
Are you gonna feature?
South County Safe Rides. So it is South County Safe Rides for Orange County. And let me search it. Oh, come on.
I didn't even know I was the chair. You don't want to be the chair, Jill?
I got one.
You were in the chair for that one.
Oh,
you're-
come on. You're switching it to me?
No, it says Miss. I'm like,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I remembered.
Don't worry. They had me down for the first one when Lisa took it over. remember?
Okay, here we go.
Well, it's 'cause
South
you're
County
competing.
Safe
I know.
Rides.
I'm trying to be
Of
team
course,
player.
it's going very slow.
I got you.
I guess we just need like a purpose and.
No, I didn't.
It's a designated.
I shook my phone
it's a
and my
volunteer
phone
designated
just
driver
sent me a
program.
message saying, "Are you in trouble?
teens
Something about
by
shaking your
teens.
phone and like, do you need
Really?
help?"
That would be cool.
Like, I've never had that happen before.
Oh.
Let's try not
It
to do
has
that
to be
again. I'm
sanctioned
calling
by the
911.
I didn't do it. Mine said, "Why are you shaking?"
I'm a
But
little
it
upset
doesn't,
that I
it's
didn't
not,
get
it
any
wouldn't
lunch
be
there.
run through the high school.
Okay,
Ours
good
was
job.
run as
Hey,
like
I
a,
was
we joined with other towns where I was growing up. And it was just a volunteer organization. But
said, I
yes, we would
want
need
some.
this organization
you
to
next
help
time.
us with that. But it wouldn't be sanctioned by the high school because it would be for all teenagers.
Come on.
Maybe homeschooled or.
Okay, all right.
A little fresh. I squeeze it in my
I mean, they
water.
could promote
so
it for
good.
us, but you're right, they probably wouldn't wanna.
Like my tomatoes are
Take
better than
responsibility for that.
tomatoes.
But it is very safe. It's always
I
a
want
boy
some
and
of her
a
basil.
girl
Is
in
it
the
good basil?
car. You're never allowed to have 2 girls or two males.
I want to make pesto.
Um,
so good.
And then there's limits on how many people.
Oh, she did.
Like maybe no more than 2 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I need to get the basil.
But yes, we do.
Who manages or sponsors or that program? That's safe. Is that a?
That's a set up
I don't know,
program.
this is gonna be
No,
very
I did that too when I was
Their
in high
last
school. I
session
don't remember.
was February 4th for South
Oh.
County Safe Rides, and they changed the name to STOP,
Wait,
Safe
and
Rides
just-
Trauma Outreach Program.
Okay, so how
So
about
we need to find a current
investigate
Yeah,
Safe
we're
Rides partners?
status.
Yes.
Okay.
Investigate. So Janet,
Yeah, just put that on. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
under provide a real life experience.
Yes.
Just make another paragraph, please, and
Okay.
say investigate potential South County Safe Rides project partners.
They basically say Safe Rides to provide safe, confidential ride home to any local teen in need.
Yeah, but they last met in February, so
But
it
you're
might be
saying it
somebody
may
else.
not be.
There is another one. This is this one. The other one, I know that like the Boy Scouts are a part of that one too. So yeah, I'm gonna
And
have
there's
to look
some
again.
churches that do it, and they'll have kids volunteer. you
So
know.
okay, we'll take that as our next steps. I
We
guess.
can
Look
investigate
into-
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, for example, they've got South County Safe Rides, Mission Viejo High School, South County Safe Rides, Santa Margarita Catholic High School. Those are the only two that seem to. Santa Margarita has over 100 members, which
So
I'm
we'll
not
reach out.
surprised. And Mission Viejo just has 20.
So I think that's huge, and communicating it out. And even to the point where maybe as part of every 15 minutes, they have all the kids' texts on the cell phone numbers. Maybe every kid receives a text, every student receives a text. Hey, here's the Safe Rides number. Be smart.
If you ever need a ride home.
Yeah, I mean it's free.
It's not having to call an Uber.
Yeah.
It's Safe Rides, no questions asked.
Exactly.
Not having to call your parents.
No.
No
But
public.
they do training. So, like the thing they had in February, I mean, this is just a Facebook page, but the thing they had in February just said they have to come for a specific time on a specific day. It's Fridays and Saturdays, and it's training for the volunteers. You know, they have to be a certain age, all that same stuff. So they have to go. You don't just sign up and just go pick people up.
No, it's real
So
serious.
there's a whole training for a student. They get community service hours for going to the training. And then once
And
they've
doing
been
it.
certified that they're able to participate in the program and, you know, done their
Right.
steps, then they can go and sign up for rides.
But it's amazing because you get service hours for that, and they keep it very safe. I mean, there's people monitoring the phones, and then there's people that ride in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You get free pizza.
Yeah, they all gather at one place or a
It's
couple
fan-
places in Orange County. It's fantastic.
It's
My
fantastic. And it's
daughter
only
loved
Friday and
it.
Saturday nights,
Yep.
like 6 to 10 p.m. And I did
That
it all
is
the
going
time.
to save lives.
It does save lives. And you know that you did save lives because they're drunk and they have no other way to get home, or they're in an unsafe situation. I mean, there's so many levels
Or
of
what
it.
about somebody's at a party and it's not the party that they expected and they want to get out of there?
Yes.
That happens.
It happens all the time.
Or you all of a sudden grab a drink that somebody handed you at a party, and the next thing you know, you're not feeling well, and you want to leave as soon as possible because who knows what's going to happen to you there.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff I think about. Is, you know, it's kids go out and they know they're somewhere and they know the people, but it's a little bit more of you're in a situation and
Hey, I have to
somebody's
tell you,
given you something or taken something, and those are the scariest ones.
Yeah.
I think for people because it's happening quickly, and if you don't have anybody to call.
And I did it before the day of cell phones. Like, we didn't have cell phones. So I don't even know. We must have, like, memorized the phone numbers.
They had to have had cell phones. Then my daughter did it.
so the other thing is,
Like 25, yeah.
kids get roofied at parties even where they know everybody.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, bad things happen to good people all the
Heard
time.
it all the time.
So any resources that we can
Right.
involve ourselves with I mean, think about how impactful that is for our community. I don't know, when you guys were in high school, how many kids died on prom night? We had 4. Yeah.
Wow.
And 2 of them were decapitated because they ran under a semi-truck. Now tell me that doesn't scare the daylights out of the kids. But I guarantee the next weekend kids were driving under the influence. So providing these type of safe options.
Well, the influence with the kids, the drinking isn't near as much as
It's like all
drugs
around.
and prescription
There's a lot of
drugs
sides.
and fake
Well, there's
prescription
a
drugs.
parent.
And
Well,
so,
look at things that have happened very recently.
yeah, a lot less alcohol and a lot more drug abuse is
Well,
what.
look at fentanyl. They're saying be careful of Halloween candy because they have
Mhm.
Skittles with fentanyl in them. And you
I
know,
wouldn't doubt it.
We're not
So-
eating candy this year, telling the kids. They're well aware of fentanyl now.
they're not allowed to eat candy.
I don't think so. I think we're over it. Or we'll eat chocolate, you know?
You know what? I'm
Okay.
happy to make Halloween bags for them. You tell me
How
if
do
your
we
kid,
screen the candy, you know?
because Lisa Edom's going to buy
you
it.
just only
put
go
it in
to
the
the
box
places
and give it to
that-
the kids.
No, isn't it the stuff we buy in the store? Oh, it's not the stuff we buy in the store?
No.
Oh, it's just bad people handing candy.
Yeah, they're
Oh, I thought it, but
That's what I
I
was
thought
saying,
it was
church.
sealed candy that we're buying from the store could be sealed. And
Tell
Oh,
us-
you mean like
I'll go
that
buy it on the
Tylenol,
base.
that
What
tainted
candy you want?
Tylenol thing?
that's what I was thinking. I'm glad if I'm wrong.
Oh,
guys are
I
saying-
haven't heard anything about that.
I'll go buy it on base. Less population of chances.
There you
of,
go.
Yes.
You know, because it's being handled.
Eric
by
can
us.
have that.
through for us.
Yeah, I told them they were
Tell me what you
getting
want. You know, I got
Well, I've been
dots,
eating Halloween
chocolate.
candy that I bought
I
every
was like, you
day.
guys
So
can't
if I don't
die.
show up one day, or you guys can't get a text back,
Sugar
have
cone
somebody
line.
come check on me in
Oh
my
my
house and feed my little blind deaf dog, please.
But you're right. You know, out in the public, you don't know
Kit
who's
Kat
shooting a needle or
right?
something in there.
Right.
I
I
thought they were
remember
getting
growing
the
up, they
kind
did
of-
stuff
You know,
like
just the
that.
needles. You can just run in there in a candy bar. You know, you don't know what you're getting out there.
Are you serious?
I'm
Yes.
just saying that can happen out in your
Yes.
world, but on the
In
base,
civilian?
we got to control
Can
population.
you
I'm
get
saying,
another base?
I'll get you. I'll take you there, and you shop away.
Okay.
Go ahead. Say, I'll take you.
I want to go to the base.
I'll
It's
take
better
you
than
too.
CVS is better than Costco.
Gas
That's
is
what I'm
580, 530 or
No, they have a
580.
lot of candy. You want to do that because that's what we do on the base. We don't mess around with anything else 'cause
Right.
we can't trust it. So in our little gay community, we all just get it
I
all.
love it. Okay.
They can't
I'm
bring it.
in.
They probably hit 10 houses
I'll
and their
go.
clothes are full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay,
Can't
so
get on
last
base,
but
not
not
buying
least,
it.
the San Clemente High School Humanitarian Award and
Yay.
Mentoring. The last project. Can everybody just read through that and see if we want to add anything? I think it's very
This is
clearly
something
stated.
that-
Number 6.
This
I
one
think.
was, yeah, this one doesn't need to change.
Okay,
Right, same, yeah.
You didn't get
Good.
there. It is.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Do they give you recommendations?
For who?
For the humanities, yes, school gives us recommendations.
So this is a
I like
carryover
this
project and it's
Right,
very
every year.
straightforward,
Yeah.
right?
Why just juniors?
I'm sorry, what was that, Stuart?
Why just juniors? San Clemente High School juniors? You only deal with juniors?
Oh, no, it's
First,
seniors.
No, it says juniors.
Isn't it
It
seniors?
says identify
I
juniors.
I think it's
that
juniors
perform?
because by the time the seniors at the end of the year are graduating, that accolade doesn't go on their
College record.
college
that's right,
application.
that's right, it's a junior, yeah.
Smart.
It's just the junior sports, the
So they
award
have
for
the
next year.
award in time to apply for college.
Yeah, because now that
And they've
junior
done their
can use
work
that for
all-
their
all high
application
school.
that they
Yes.
won.
It's great.
Right.
It's really great.
makes sense.
Well, thank you for that color, Jill Schechter.
Oh, wait, can I add, sorry, on the mentorship to one of you guys to reach out to Thor again about his foundation that he started for kids with autism. I was thinking it would be a good pairing
Okay.
for high
reach
school
out to
students that are mainlined versus having autism. Would I don't know. So students that maybe don't suffer from autism to be paired with students that do suffer with autism. And I was thinking it'd be a great partnership for everybody to learn how to work together and what a day in the life of the other person is like. So I was thinking maybe they could be a mentor at his camps, like he takes them on a day camp to Knott's Berry Farm or something
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
You know what would be great for people that have special foundations or special offerings for groups of different people to come present to us for 5 minutes
Yeah,
as an assembled
I
group,
love it.
as our committee, just to see where we could potentially
Help them.
I love it.
use
How do
them as
we
a
reach them?
resource.
Yeah, I got his number. We text all the time.
No, I meant like
Oh.
other organizations. Thor, I already mentioned it to.
You already talked to
Yeah.
him? Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
he
you
wants to get involved with us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just thought that'd be great to have high school kids go be his camp counselors.
Oh, yeah, and when they go, exactly, when they do those, because they need,
They
a
need
lot of them need
volunteers.
one-on-ones, yeah.
Well, the other thing is, as you're approaching the different businesses for the mentorship programs, if there's anybody that does something particularly
Yes.
interesting or particularly nuanced, have them come and present
Yes.
to us for
Okay.
5 minutes
Okay,
I love it.
and talk to us about what their company does or what the
friends.
potential growth opportunity is if somebody winds up being employed with them.
I think we
Because-
should call those high schools.
Because think about when you're in college and you do an internship,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do really well at the company, and the company says, "Okay, when you graduate, we have a job for you."
Yeah.
Think about the companies that might be willing to do that if they
Right.
identify a superstar and if somebody's a really good fit.
Right.
Maybe there's a job at the end of high school, or maybe when they have a work permit and they're eligible to work, they can work in a paid position for 15 or 20 hours a week. Who knows? I mean, the opportunities here were really
right, exactly.
pretty limitless.
I agree.
Michelle, you made it, Santa Margarita Catholic High School. I know.
So what was the changes you made on that?
Oh, thanks.
You added a
Just Thor.
junior?
The last one,
I'm gonna
nothing.
call them and see
No
if they're
changes.
safe
No
for
changes.
them.
No changes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I think we're in really good shape with our work plan to
I do
submit to
too.
council.
Yeah.
Show of hands, who can be there next Tuesday?
think. So you can-
Wait. I
Next
got
to
it
the
wrong.
city
I
council
thought it was.
meeting?
It
I
was.
thought
I go to all
It was
those.
Jill
I'll be
last
there.
week.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
I'll be
last week.
there.
We all calendared it, and then it
That's
got
right,
delayed.
look at my calendar.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it.
I know.
And then nobody, I didn't get any message or anything. I'm like, and then
No, I
Aaron
know.
said it was moved, and I was like, oh god,
You got it.
I can't make it.
So yes, I planned it.
The 18th.
It's on the 18th, yeah.
Yes.
Because I think you provide
Let me
some
just
color
move it over.
in some of your subgroups.
Okay.
Just in case.
Do we wait? Which sub?
I mean, it's like car insurance, just in
What's that?
case.
Hang on. Where do I
Hopefully,
have
they're
it?
gonna love it.
Now, we don't know if they're gonna be doing anything with us at, before closed section or after until we see the agenda, right?
Correct. Yeah, everybody,
They
the agenda is published online the Friday before the Tuesday that the city council meeting occurs. I encourage you to go online, look at the agenda, see when our item is agendized, because there are 2 sessions of public comments.
Okay. Well, I'm
One is
saying
at
it's
5
6:30
p.m.,
and then I'm leaving.
one is at 7 p.m. And in between, they have closed sessions. So if you show up at 5 and we're not on till 7,
Okay.
then you're gonna find somewhere to go eat some dinner and then come back. Or
So
go
can
home.
someone remember to check and text the rest of us? Not
Can you
text, didn't
please
mean
do-
text.
So when the agenda is posted on Thursday
Right.
or Friday, I will send it out to all of the members.
Okay, perfect.
And on there, I believe it's gonna be a consent item. So I think consent goes prior to the 6 o'clock closed session now.
Will you tell us?
But I will, when I
Okay, perfect.
send
we
out
won't do
the
that.
agenda,
Thank you.
I'll find out exactly what time you guys should be there and.
Okay.
And tell us.
And if we all show up,
And don't reply back to all, please.
if we show up, they could be like nice, and they do sometimes. If they're getting along on a good night, they'll say, since everybody's here, we'll move this up. You know, there might be a turkey or two that would say, no, I want them to stay all night.
The last meeting was a very
Yeah.
good meeting.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
Oh, good.
I heard that.
So
too.
maybe we bring some
Great.
Halloween candy and pass it out.
Not bought on base.
with some razor
No.
blades and
Only
like
the
that's just
base.
like I just
No, the
remember
good
this.
stuff, the pure stuff. Yeah. Okay, in any case,
Sean, Aaron, and
so
Shelby.
let's move on.
Yeah,
to
we
the
are. I
agenda.
can't wait.
Full size
Oral and written communication, do we have any oral and written communication, Miss Janet?
No.
Okay. Number 7, communication from committee members and staff. We just intuitively covered this. So we're finished with that, adjournment. So I wanted to ask you all, would it be a benefit to have a special meeting in the month of November? Are there any items of business that you feel like we'll need to meet on in November as an assembled group? Or should we just adjourn to the regular meeting on December 13th?
I think our work group should be the focus of November.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
get together.
That's
with
why I
our-
wanted to
Yeah.
throw it out. Excellent.
I kind of
So the take home, the deliverable for the December 13th meeting is an update from
From
your
everyone.
work group on
Let's go.
where you are,
I love it.
what you've worked on, if you've firmed anything up or confirmed anything. You know, let's update each other on the
So
State of the Union, basically.
The next
Fair enough?
next meeting is December
December 13th.
Yeah, as a committee, but we can meet with our groups if we want to.
Yes.
So I have a arbitration that I'm a part of. Not personal, don't worry. That's on the 13th that got postponed, and that's a day I might be tied up. So I might not be here, but I'll let you guys know.
Just
But
let us
carry
know.
on without me.
Thank you.
I think it'll be 3:30 again.
Yes.
It'll be 3:30. This is our room.
I love
Perfect.
It was the first time I ever came to the right place without texting you
Page
guys.
3.
Well, it's
I was
because
like,
of my
I know
text
it.
reminding you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, I just said
So
we're all
let's-
busy. I just thought I'd
we
put
just was it Sunday? I don't know what day it was this weekend. She's like, wasn't there a committee meeting Tuesday? I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, no, the 18th.
it. So, do you want to say something before we adjourn?
Well, I just, first of all, thank you for letting me come in. And
you're welcome.
such wonderful
Thank you for
hosts,
coming
and
in.
I've got a lot to digest. I've been taking copious notes here, just try to figure out where maybe I can lie and help. I did have one question. First of all, you guys it's so encouraging to know that there are good-hearted people who are working for the city in this capacity and trying to advise our city council in these areas, and particularly in an age when we're all so divided and everything. It's so good to see this in action. I just had one thought when we were thinking about the homeless and run the beach trail. So I back before the camp was done, you know, all that. But anyway, I was just wondering if there's any way to get visibility to the kind of the invisible homeless. I'm thinking more the youth or couch surfing or living in cars or going to school. I don't know if, and when I think of homeless, I think of the folks that I see with the signs or the folks on the beach who often there's some significant substance or mental health issues there. And, but there's those kids and those families, often single mothers, divorced mothers with still having school-age kids, and they're.
I will say FAM is very good with
FAM.
that group. Refer them. We had a situation of someone where someone suspected at a school that there may be a family, and they were referred to FAM, and they got put up in place.
You could always, like at our elementary school, so they're not allowed to give out information that's private. But if you touched base with the front office of say the high school, they have information on like a certain demographic maybe that fits below the poverty line or something like that. And so like at our school, we have somebody who takes that on. And then we do a huge Christmas offering, and everybody gives presents, and so those families aren't forgotten at Christmas time. So that might be something to do, just like go touch base at each school and see if they have something like that.
They do have a general demographic because when you do your yearly, you're filling out the paperwork. You don't have to answer, but most families do. Are you displaced? Are you
So
this?
the office
Are
has
you
that
that?
information.
So they have they will not tell you which families,
No.
although we have 10 displaced families that don't have a home to live going to the school.
But
so
the
you
office
can
knows.
get,
Mhm.
yeah, you can get
You let the office know.
some information, but not the specific. Yeah,
But you could then take that information and say, what do these families need?
exactly.
Do we need a drive for them? Do we need a food drive? Do we need a school supply? We did like backpacks, like that kind of stuff is what you want to, and then Christmas.
And if you suspect someone, you maybe think a student or whatever, make the school aware, because there are resources, they will help them.
Well, I think if I'm interpreting your intent correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were wondering if we could add that into any of our work plan items to investigate.
Oh, well, kind of.
We're like, have at it.
Yeah, actually, I just, when I was thinking of, or when you were mentioning behavioral health and homelessness, I was just thinking that's kind of
It's a missed area.
We're thinking of the solo folks that we see.
Right.
And
But
you're right.
there are these folks
Families.
too who, the solo folks need food and health services.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The families,
Right.
it's a completely different story. The other thing that I had just was wondering, because I've had some involvement with the Coalition Outlook, COA. Are you guys familiar
Okay,
with
COA.
Uh-huh.
Because they have like a food connection, I think, once a week for families, and they have a thing called open mic for kids
Right.
who, want to express themselves, and music lessons and that type of thing. So anyway, I don't know. That might fall into the area of behavioral health because they were formed by parents. If you know the history, there was a rash of overdose deaths at San Clemente High School, and out of that, these parents kind of rose up and started this, and it's kind of blossomed from there as a 501c. I'm not an affiliate of it; I volunteered for it.
Good for you.
Maybe part of the resource fair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll send you some information on their food connection because that would be right in line with what you're doing, that food bank, and
Right.
Please do.
in the email.
I think there's so much food, no one should be going hungry. It seems like there's so
Well,
many
and there are
food
so
banks.
many kids that are starving at school and we don't know it.
No.
Well,
right.
but they
get
made
food for
all
free.
Yeah, they made
All-
everything for
everything
free
gets
for
free
all
lunch.
kids. Like if I didn't want to pack lunch for my kids, everybody gets free food. No
They can
question
all
that.
get
Ever
food.
since
Really?
COVID, they get
Yep.
breakfast and lunch for free. Yeah, it's amazing.
And
That's going to
once-
end,
That's good.
Yeah.
but it is for sure through this year.
Yeah,
at
and then when
least.
school's off, you can drive through
Mhm.
certain schools and pick up lunches 5 days a week for your kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
breakfast
for
and lunch.
most families, young adults maybe not so much. For most people that are a family that are displaced, There are so many
Yeah.
resources for them.
Resources, right.
Good.
It's the ones that that are somewhat resistant to the resources because of mental health issues or addiction issues or things like that.
Mm,
That's where, I mean, we've got
What we're
tons of
trying to help,
resources
yeah.
for people if they want them.
Yeah,
It's the ones that struggle with wanting it that is kind of what we're trying to.
resistant.
I
Why
see.
what we deal with.
Service
Yeah.
resistant.
Yeah, service resistant,
Mm.
what you're seeing down at the beach and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. Because there's so many resources, there's so much money here
Yeah.
for it that, yeah.
well, thank you again for letting me sit.
Very nice to have you.
Yeah, so nice of you to
State your
come.
name for the
Thank you.
record.
Yeah, it's Brett, B-R-E-T, Schull, S-H-U-L-L. And I gave Dr. Anderson my card.
Thank
Great.
you.
Perfect.
Thank you for taking your time to come and be
Yeah.
interested.
Oh,
I think that's so
visitors.
neat. I know.
This is a great business.
So
In fact, my
fun.
alarm went off. I was getting ready to go, okay, I was running some errands, getting ready to go,
I love that you came. I
Yeah,
think it's so
it's
fun.
great.
Join us anytime.
so
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Always like
Okay.
input.
And if you
too.
have
So I'd like to
you're
formally-
out, you have suggestions, you see something, text someone.
Totally.
So you have your.
I'm formally adjourning this meeting, this regular meeting of the Human Affairs Committee to our next meeting, which is to occur December 13th at 3:30 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel, same location.
Thank you.
I said
4:58, is that right?
Here's Brett's card. I'm taking a picture.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I want to take a picture too. Please.
All right, so I will make the edits to this work plan and I have to get it to the clerk's office tomorrow morning to get it on the agenda.
Agenda.
So I'll just go ahead and do that.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much for doing all that.
thank you.
Do we get new
Thanks
name
for
tags
leaving
soon?
What?
I want my Mac Daddy
Does
name
this say
tag like you have. My name tag doesn't look like that.
What does yours look like?